Having tech on an agent can do more than make you look like a pro. It can unlock parts of the game that open up many possibilities, allowing you to outplay your enemies and make them scratch their heads in disbelief. Astra is undoubtedly no exception. In this video, I'll show you 5 ways to turn Astra into even more of a 500 IQ agent. So let's not waste any more time. I'm chill and let's get into it. For our first piece of Astra tech, we'll start with something simple but effective. You may have noticed that every time you go into Astral form, Astra will be oriented in the same direction you're looking before going into Astral form, with a star ready to be placed 20 meters away. This means that if you have a solid grasp of how far 20 meters is, you can look towards that spot on the map, quickly go into Astral form, spam click the star, and come out in about 1 second. This can be helpful if you need to get a star down near you as quick as possible. Quick pro tip on this one: as long as you're not moving in Astral form, she cannot place one star on top of another. This means you can spam left click as you're entering Astral form to get the star down ASAP without having to worry about placing too many stars accidentally. It may take a little practice, so try it in various positions on the maps you play Astra on to get the hang of the mechanic and the 20-meter distance. Another way to speed up Astra's abilities is with her wall. A lot of new Astra players struggle with using her ult due to the multiple steps needed to activate it, as well as thinking about where it should be placed. Before trying this, I'd suggest getting very comfortable using her ult so you don't have to think about where to place the wall. Once you have that down, now you can learn how to place it fast. I'll first show you this slowly to break down the mechanic and then show you how fast it looks in a real scenario. Go into Astral form, wait until the pink animation goes away, right click to prime the wall, hold left click and drag in the direction you want the wall to orient, left click to place the wall, and spam your Astral form key to exit as soon as possible. Now let's speed that up and see what it looks like in a real scenario. If done right, you can place a wall in about 3 seconds from going into Astral form to the wall going up. The general idea is to use this when you need to quickly get the wall down if you or your teammates are in a pinch. You also have to have an idea of where you're going to place it before you use it, so that's why I suggest getting really comfortable with common positions the wall can be used on in each map you play with Astra. This isn't super precise, so if you have a planned execute involving your ult, there's no need for this mechanic, so just place one normally in this situation. Our last way to speed up Astra is through the simple mechanic of jumping. You may have seen or used this technique on Cypher. Cypher uses this technique to continue his momentum while using his camera. This is a quick and simple way to speed up your rotates from one site to another, or just to make sure your timing is as fast as possible when moving from one area to another. While running, simply jump, immediately enter Astral form to place a star, and spam your Astral form key to exit, continuing your forward momentum. This is another mechanic that should be pretty quick to learn and can save you a little bit of time playing on the agent. Let's move on to recall smokes and how we can leverage them to outplay our enemies. Recall smokes have a number of uses, like faking a smoke, moving across dangerous sight lines, or showing presence somewhere on the map. They can also be used to get kills. One example of this technique is demonstrated masterfully by Sam in this clip. Granted, if you're not Sam, you probably get one and die here, but it's the idea that we're focused on. The enemies see this recall and believe it to be a smoke. However, when it drops, Sam is in an unexpected position, giving him a more favorable fight. Another way to use recalls is while opping. While a star is in a normal smoke position like this one on Ascent, you can recall, peek the angle, and surprise the enemy as the smoke goes down, giving you the advantage in the fight. If you're on attack, you can recall a star, peek the angle, and when the smoke drops, you now have the advantage with the op. It's more favorable for oppers to hold angles rather than peek into angles due to the slow movement speed of the gun, so by using a recall smoke, you can reclaim that advantage. There are many applications for this one, but now that you have an idea of how they can be used, you have another tool in your arsenal as Astra. Moving on, we have some tech for Astra's Suck and Concuss. We know that the Suck can do things like pull diffusers off the bomb in post-plant or split up the attack on defense, but you can also use it to pull enemies out into the open when playing in cubby positions. In order to do this, you'll want to be very confident an enemy is playing in such a position via some form of recon or enemy patterns. Then you just need to place the Suck so the center is out in the open. A good example of this would be on B-site bind. This is a small cubby that's easy to suck. If you don't think that's cool enough, then try the Heaven Suck. For this, you'll need a wall-bangable rafter structure, so yeah, Ascent and Haven. If you hear an enemy above you or they're they're revealed, suck right above you and blast them through the floor. Will this work every time? Probably not. Is it cool if it happens? You bet your ass. In the same vein, you can perform a similarly annoying technique with Astra's Concuss ability. Not all concusses are created equal. Some reach high off the ground and others reach about a box and a half height. Astra's luckily reaches 2 box heights above her Nova Pulse. That means that positions of height that are 2 boxes tall can be concussed. Going back to Ascent Rafters, you can place a sneaky concuss on the left side of Hell and concuss anyone peeking from above that position. As a bonus, if someone is Hell, they'll also be concussed. Some of the best examples this tech can be used is Ascent in Hell, Bind in Tube, and Under the Bridge on Breeze. It won't actually work in Hell on Haven though, since the height from the ground is too far for it to reach. Last piece of suck and concuss tech is the Forbidden Suck Peak. Why forbidden? Well, if you've ever played games that double your damage at the expense of halving your life, this is Valorant's version of that concept. By placing a star out in the open near cover, you can effectively suck yourself out into the open, and once you're stopped in the middle, you regain full accuracy. Here's an example using an op.
Pulling them in!
Pretty cool, right? You should probably never do this unless you're trying to impress your friends in an unrated or spike rush, but hey, tech is tech. Let's switch over to some big brain cosmic divide tech. This first one is actually best used going against an Astra. In order to counter an Astra wall, you either need to use a flash or recon ability to peek through, dry swing with a teammate, or simply wait till it ends. However, we can do something else a little more fancy. Let's say you're trying to fast flood an attacker's rush to site. They put up a wall that cuts the site in half, allowing them to get the bomb down relatively safely. If you don't have any recon or flash abilities, you can airstrafe and peek through the wall, landing you back in cover away from danger. Now you can either bait attackers into pushing you through the wall by holding close to it, or you can try to outplay them by running to a different part of the wall that you airstrafe through and swing through trying to get a pick. The reason this works better now than before Astra's recent buff is that absolutely no sound penetrates the wall, so you can quickly run to another spot without the enemy suspecting a thing. This next one I already showed off in another video, but I feel like it's still a cool one to know. This is an extremely niche idea that was executed perfectly by Pro Team Guild when playing defense against Crew. Guild's Astra player Coldamenta places a wall towards the very edge of A site, exposing a tiny area for Crew to plant. Crew takes the bait and falls into the trap. Coldamenta pulls the planter through the wall with a gravity well, killing him unexpectedly. Truly a 500 IQ Astra play. If you want to better understand the idea behind this, I go into depth in that video you can check out in the top right of the screen. It's a play that requires a lot of things to line up and the expectation that the attackers will commit to the site instead of rotating, but if pulled off, you'll get a lot of question marks from the enemy. Last, but well, probably least if I'm being honest, we have an oldie but a goodie, the smoke snake tech. The fun part about doing this with Astra is that you can do this by recalling all 4 stars, meaning you'll get back all of them in 25 seconds. This is obviously more of a troll thing to do, but hey, sometimes a little trolling amongst friends makes the experience that much better. And that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from me in the future. Subscribe for more guides like this one and check out this one next for more. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.